Witty made a few mess-ups on the Cho. Aaron did play a great Hilda game, and it's just one of those heroes that even if it dies, it still is a problem. Now, TLID have to think about this, right? It's like, do we leave certain things open this time? Do we go for the Cho ban this time?
Yeah.
Because RORA might be looking for a different type of strategy.
And I think,
Oi, Matilda.
first of all, is if ever TLID do not ban the Bruno again, will Aurora still decide to pick it up first pick? Because as of the moment, we're seeing it's available for Aurora, but given the circumstances earlier, I wouldn't be so sure if they'd still want to go with that.
Joe, high loss, Bruno.
Dragon is ready anytime.
Ooh,
They pick up the
Cho
Cho.
first. Which I think is very solid. And we've seen
Cho
teams,
is always there, man.
by second, third series, Cho always moves his way up to being the first pick.
How many years has it been? I feel like almost every M series, you will fit some kind of Cho there, either in the ban, in the picks, damage, tank.
He is Mr. Consistent.
He is the face of MLBB.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
So how does TLID answer this?
Look at how many skins he has.
Glue's open this time. Hylos is open. It's something that TLID could pick up for sure.
If they want a Suyo as well.
Suyo Hylos maybe.
Oh no, they get the Bruno for themselves.
All right.
Hylos Bruno.
No. So Rora, Granger Xavier. I'm kidding.
Well, I think TLID wants them to pick up the jungle, and they can just. Well, no, they don't need Xavier anymore because they have the Bruno.
Yeah, and the difference is TLID, they haven't revealed their jungler yet.
True.
They can actually switch it up, pick up an assassin, depending on what Aurora picks for their next two picks. And now we're questioning, like, does Demon Kite show us the assassin too? So they gain somewhat of a more aggressive playstyle, more backline access, because earlier it was really just front to back. They were reliant too much on Renegade and Edward, and they couldn't make any other plays other than that. So now Demon Kite, he will be securing the joy.
Time to drop the beat of
There's their back line right there. And I was going to say, honestly, even with the Cho, they didn't need full-on assassin. I think the Joy is a great answer right there. You still have that essentially assassin, someone that gets to the back line, but you also have a Cho who can flicker kick, right? Who can get there and target just about anybody at this point. And then the Vexana is just a beautiful answer to the Hylos. When that glorious pathway comes down, you drop the Guardian on the charge.
Yeah, the only time we haven't seen the Joy and the Cho perform as much was earlier in KBG, right?
Yeah.
They struggled to pull it off. So if TLID goes all out on aggression, that might be a similar case. So Aurora has to kind of balance their lineup a bit more, probably in terms of who they're picking up for doming later on, since I think they're really reserving that gold late pick for later.
They already showed the Vexana as well, so there's not going to be a lot of cheese. The only one that can really throw out the damage against Aaron Shiki is going to be that Joy and possibly their gold laner. So I feel like TLID looks like they are focusing on Mr. Consistent, taking out that Edith.
They're like, it's okay, you can have the Granger, you can have this gold
Aaron
laner.
Shiki's just like, I can handle any
Fine,
goalie.
we're good. I'm Aaron Shiki. I like it. Now, they still might ban out the Granger, very possibility. On the side of Aurora, they need to ban out mages, right? Take out the mages. Do we think we see
But after Xavier, wouldn't that make it?
Yeah.
It's like, what do we ban? All of a sudden, they pick up something like a Lilia. They pick up a No Dead.
So TLID really in a good spot, essentially, because they have the Flex Hylos, so they're making you guess on EXP or Roam. And then do we even ban Mage, which they decide to take that risk? And yeah, we ban out the Valentina.
Yeah, they go for pretty standard mid lane bans for now up against the Hazekill. I think you'd have to respect how deep his hero pool is right now.
Oh, yeah.
I wouldn't recall like the Savior that much last season for Hazekill, honestly.
It's been like a year.
What if it brings the Khalid mid? Oh, no. Nah, you wouldn't do that.
You want the Hellcurt roll?
Let's keep things simple. Let's keep things simple, all right? Let's keep things simple, guys. TLID, last ban. There goes the glue. Mr. Consistent consistently getting targeted.
And then after this, TLID can pick up, like say, a Gato Kacha and just narrowing down the choices for EXP even more.
Yeah, so like at this point, it's mostly just the CC, the Khalid,
CC, yeah.
that's available for Edward if he ever wants to go for the meta XP laners. Because earlier you were suggesting, Trex, like, what if we shows up the Benedetta or like
What if this Joy is EXP?
Or what if the Joy is
That
EXP?
is really a possibility.
Right.
Especially it's tough because they don't get last red side pick, right?
Yeah.
So it can always be countered. If they had red side, they would get to know where the Hylos is going to be, and then they would get to go, right? So last ban, Arlot ban from the side of RORA, covering their own bases, which honestly that could have been a good pick for Edward, maybe even.
But they know that TLID is gonna pick up someone tanky here. They don't need to show mid because again, Ezekiel might have something even crazier.
Something even crazier something even crazier.
What is even crazier than that? Cyclops.
Cyclops mid.
Oh, actually. Yeah, or what if they make Naisu happy?
Don't
and,
get on this train. Don't go down this rabbit hole.
You're on Aurora side, okay?
Oh, yeah, okay, actually, yeah, you're right. I'm on Aurora side, okay. So they show us the Lu.
Now we're back to the basics.
Now it's Lu Yi.
Back to the simplicity.
That was what we called in game number 1.
Yep. That's what we wanted in game number 1, and I think this still works very well. It may not work as well against the Joy. It's going to be hard to proc the duality against some of these heroes, but still, Lu Yi, you have the diversion. You have a lot of possibilities.
So what do they pick now for their XP and their jungler, depending on wherever this Joy is about to go because of BTK?
They need a gold laner for sure. That's the major thing. They need a gold laner for sure.
So they go for the Charizla and
the Rizzler.
The Rizzler.
The Rizzler. I was thinking of Charizla. I was hesitant. I shouldn't have been. I should have just speak my mind. But then again, every time I do that, I get into trouble.
There's some, I mean, Charizla, he's not bad. He hasn't had the greatest showing so far in M Series.
Yeah.
If anyone's going to pull him off, it'll definitely be Edward.
Yep.
But the thing is he doesn't have the longest range for the dive, right?
Yeah.
And now with Malefic Gun, it's much harder to lock down onto a Bruno, and Edward's not going to be able to do that exactly.
I thought you were about to say he's going to get the Malefic Gun, and I'm like, wait, that doesn't work that way.
Does that work on his penalty zone?
If that works, that
Long
would be
range
amazing.
penalty zone.
Well, I mean, I feel like it's more of a response possibly to all the diversion plays. I mean, there's a flicker.
Belly boy.
Penalty zone visibility, but yeah, they get the Balearic.
How do you feel about that, Brig?
This Joy, this Cho, is not going to have a good time.
They have so much heroes who want to go for the dive. I was also saying about the flicker penalty zone, but now...
Mr. Brigida, breathe. Mr. Trex, do what you're doing. Inga and Naisu, do what you're doing.
We're going to do what we do here. Thank you very much, panel, for breaking down the drafts here. This is looking a little risky. As we get a look here once again at the draft here, Ingon, how you feeling?
Man, I've seen the combination of the Lu Yi and the Belleric. We've seen it in our own MPL, in the hands of Smart Omega. And I'm thinking TLID has a really, really good draft for game number 2.
TLID's definitely got a draft here. The upper hand possibly with this one. Will this be enough? Aurora MLBB, one of the teams from the Philippines on the brink of elimination. Faced off against this, faced off against match point. Can they take it to game 3? We're gonna find out. We jump into Land of Dawn again. Broken down here with this. If you look at the lineup that RORA brought, they want to go in, they want to dive, they want to do all those things, but there's one hero that could stop it all. We've seen this happen before to teams already throughout the Swiss stage. This Belleric pick from Witty could change the tide of those early fights and the later ones as well by just locking members down of Aurora MLBB. So fancy footwork is going to have to happen here. And honestly, if you've seen Aurora MLBB and even Renegade, this is one of his signature heroes that he loves to pick, loves to bring to the table. But I have to agree with Trex. I'm also wondering, I wish there was a Malefic Gun for a Charizla, for a little extra range, because I think this is going to be difficult also for Edward.
Yeah, again, he lacks the mobility. He's going to rely a lot on the flicker penalty zone just to go for the back line. At the same time, looking at the emblem set, Widdy going full tank, and we all know the sustain that the Beller can have, especially since he has the Nature Strike paired up with the Revitalize. It's going to be hard to take down Widdy, not to mention when he cast the Wrath of Dryad right on time.
Not just Witty, but the fact that they have two heroes, two players from Team Liquid ID that are basically fully tanked up, stacked up, plus a Revitalize, and then all they have to do is post up around the Wrath of Dryad. That requires so much damage to overcome that if you're Aurora MLBB. And honestly, the fact that they don't have a Revitalize, and we're so used to seeing two lineups usually have a Revitalize. You know, like that's typically what we've seen. There's a lot where, again, Team Liquid ID can just say, hey, we're going to extend the fight, we're going to post up and leave it at that, and then outgun you later on. So Aurora MLBB needs to get that upper hand early on. This first turtle, though, for the taking already. Renegade doesn't have a level 4.
Here comes the glorious pathway. TLID just on the attack. Penalty zone coming in from Edward. And Demon Kite manages to steal away the turtle. Plus picks up 2 kills for their own. Aurora MLBB for the price of Demon Kite. That was well worth it.
2 kills, a turtle in the hands of Aurora MLBB will give them that early game lead they need. You know, 1,000 and some change above now at Team Liquid ID. Surprised that they were able to make that happen. Again, there was no level 4 available in that fight from Renegade, but they made it work. And so now for Team Liquid ID, they'll have to go ahead and adjust for that next turtle later on, but the same can be said for their roamer. You know, Winnie didn't have his Wrath of Dryad ultimate, so still great start here for Aurora MLBB. They'll play into it. And when we look at this lineup again, when we think about where's that moment in the game where they're able to get that power spike, where they have that advantage against the lineup that TLID has, well, really, it takes time, obviously. Wow, early flicker already from Yue. So that's an important battle spell burnt already. But they're going to need time, especially for Domeng. He's got to build up quickly. We know that Aaron Shiki, when he gets that, especially the Malefic Gun of the Bruno, it's done so well. Yeah. And Domeng's choice of even down to the guns, you know, will play a crucial part in this. Look at the top side. A little bit of focus there, cutting the lanes. They might try to make a play up there.
Oh, Aran forced to use the glorious pathway defensively alongside his Vengeance. Looking for the cross-map play. Here comes the diversion play. 3 members of TLID just going to wait for the perfect opportunity to strike.
Nothing there right now. It's going to get spotted out. Demon Kite's going to be fine. And this is, again, something that anytime you have the Loi Yi across from you, the team facing against that has to constantly keep their head on a swivel. Where are they going to come from? One of the advantages, of course, on that macro level of play. And now with the second turtle coming up, nothing happening up before this. This is where you see, you know, this is where the lineup of TLID should shine in these small crevices. You can see Yue still doesn't have a flicker. So he's pretty exposed here, and Renegade just trying to give the information with Domeng around the corner.
Okay, they're still not going to commit the kick, but the glorious pathway is there. Demon Guy trying to work on the back line as TLID gets the turtle. Now a counter engage. Here comes Edward with a penalty zone. Domeng, on the other hand, going to take down 2. And again, the counter attack of Aurora MLBB is just too much for TLID.
Man, you don't need a Malefic Gun when you can do that. Mr. Consistent, able to get a great penalty zone to lock down multiple members, utilizing the flicker there. And great response too. Perfect area to shoot off if you're Domeng. So now they're going to get a little bit of extra gold, obviously, here on the bottom side. The objective did go to TLID, but still, you can see this lead slowly building up.
Oh.
And this is where they start to take things, of course, from Fabian. Demon Kite, he's going to play with the advantage, especially the fact that he has this Joy. We've seen how elusive Joy is in the jungle. I mean, even in the hands of someone like King Kong, where he barely escapes, threading the needle of his life. Demon Kite looking to do the same thing, replicate it here.
Yeah, looking at the gold difference. Huge advantage, 2.6k already for Aurora MLBB. And you're not going to wonder why, because TLID, they can't seem to find the trade. Renegade has been phenomenal with this show so far. Not just the kicks, not just the Jeet Kundo, it's also the vision that he provides for TLID. That's why we haven't seen a lot of diversion plays coming in from Ezekiel, because they have a lot of ground covered for the side of Aurora.
This is what they'll do. They'll just go ahead and look elsewhere. There's a trade tier 1s on both sides of the map. TLID still kind of waiting to see if they want to push further in to the top side, but they're going to get the information that they go ahead and regroup. Once again, mid lane probably going to be the focus for both teams, because eventually, obviously, the turtle's going to come up and they want to go ahead and have that favor. But this is the thing with Witty. This time around, he's not able to just kind of set things up. You know, there's no forced initiation. Like, their forced initiation from TLID is entirely up to the fact that how do they utilize The diversion. Domeng?
Okay,
Flicker?
Domeng, first to flicker out. Get chased by the Glorious Pathway as Renegade uses the flicker as well, plus the conceal.
Oh.
Here comes the last turtle objective, but a lot of resources has been expended for the side of Aurora MLBB.
They might still fight this out. 2 battle spells are down, but they're gonna go. They get a shot off Witty.
And penalty zone from Edward is gonna take down Witty. Here comes Demon Kite, gonna try and chase for Fabian. Aran pops his vengeance, but on the hands of Aurora MLBB, they're 2 members, and now they're gonna work on bringing down the turtle as Edward zones out the rest of the members of TLID.
Great usage of all the tools they have in their favor for Aurora MLBB, and right now you have to give it up again to Edward here. He's been on point on locking down the right members with the penalty zone. As long as he continues that, Aurora MLBB will be able to win those fights. But now the battle, even for the resources of TLID. Prolific gun picked up here by Domeng.
Oh.
As they continue on, diversion going to be used. Where are they going here? Down to the bottom side, they're looking to sandwich in.
Sandwich in, Glorious Pathway is there. Witty might be. He's not going to out-sustain anymore. The damage coming in from Aurora as Demon Kite goes in for the backline. Enchi, he has to walk away. Another penalty zone coming in from Edward. Up against 2.
Edward holding his own, buying enough time for the team. He is going to be able to sacrifice himself, but Renegade gets the kick. Fabian will be able to get away. Renegade, 1 HP away. G-Kundos to safety. They survive mostly from the sandwich play with a diversion.
And finally a trade for TLID. They had to give up the purple buff instead because during that time, Fabian actually used up his retribution. So it was a lost cause for them if they want to try and contest for that purple buff. Huge diversion play and to cut things off with the Glorious Pathway, and there was no exit route for TLID during that time.
That's the thing. They can still play around this. We got a preview. That's literally a preview of what TLID will have to do later on. As I was saying, they're very reliant on diversion. That's how they're going to set things up. It's not going to be Witty surprising them. You know, he doesn't have, it's not like he's running a flicker on the Belric. You're going to see him coming from a mile away. And that's why even for Aran, he's got to be the one to hopefully utilize his Glorious Pathway in the best way possible for TLID to play around, and not always defensively. Because usually when we see these high-losses picked up, and they get constantly, you know, they have to constantly use the Glorious Pathway defensively, then you're kind of missing a big piece of utility for the fights. Again, a diversion going to be used. Whoa! To the fight!
Glorious Pathway, and they're going to catch someone off guard there, but a penalty zone onto the backline for Edward. Just trying to delay the attack of TLID as they pick up a kill onto Yue and onto Edward. But Domeng goes in. Demon Kai trying to chase for Aaron Shiki. Renegade the hitman. Ajit can do double man knockup, but there's no follow-up from Aurora. And again, a huge diversion play for TLID.
The surprise factor happens again with the diversion. Able to get 2 kills off of it. Slowly bring it down, but Renegade
finds... Okay, it didn't connect, so Fabian was able to evade that. I was waiting for that Renner. But unfortunately, he pulled the trigger, but it missed Naisu.
Oh man, that would have been such a clean play from Renegade if it ended up happening. But ultimately they know, hey, that's the flicker down, that's an ultimate down. TLID might be able to go ahead and get an advantage on this Lord now. Those are crucial things that are needed for Renegade to set things up. So now the responsibility shifts to Edward, possibly even Yue. They're going to poke it down a little bit, but TLID takes their time. Keep an eye also, Demon Kite, entry point, Aaron Shiki, there they go!
Okay, here comes the dispersion rotation coming in from Ezekiel. Gonna bring down Renegade. Aran onto the backline, gonna bring down Yue as well. Dominic just trying to burst down the members of TLID, but they only lost Witty. A double kill for Aaron Shiki, and they're not even done. A diversion, they're gonna look for another target as Fabian focuses on the Lord.
Again, a smart play. Team Liquid ID now, how many times have they pulled off a diversion to make things work? But that time around too, they just fought with Aurora MLBB, and that'll get themselves the Lord now, completely diminishing any gold lead that Aurora MLBB built up in the previous 8 minutes or so. Now in a great position to march towards the base. Again, this is still very defendable for Aurora MLBB. Their lineup's going to be able to keep them together. The base turret's possibly even, unless again we see the same thing replicated from Team Liquid. The diversions have been on point. They're looking for more in the mid lane, putting pressure on Edward alone.
Oh! But there's a pre-fry from Aaron Shiki. Wasted attempt for Aurora MLBB. Then they're trying to go for the hitman. Forcing use the conceal to walk away. And now during the previous class, you've seen the effect of the Luyi. The dispersion rotation damage paired up with the yin-yang reaction just caught Aurora MLBB off guard, bursted down 2 members right away, and again, Yezgiel is playing out of his mind for TLID.
Domeng's gonna lock in. You know, he's been doing good at like having the space that he needs to work with, but how much space do you really need when you've just got to always worry about the diversion play? They are going to get rid of this Lord. They're going to lose some of the buffs, of course, but they hold on to what they can. And now Aurora, they'll find themselves in a position where even approaching the next Lord, they have to be careful about it, because if they get overextended, if they put themselves in a position where they're relying on Renegade to set things up, there's most likely an immediate reaction coming out from TLID. So for Renegade, as he holds on to the most crucial battle spell for him to set things up like we've seen before, he's going to hold on to that flicker, find the right mark. And Edward, this might be the moment too where leading into that next Lord where they maybe switch things up a little bit. Maybe Renegade holds on to it, waits, and lets Edward be the one to engage. But at this point, it's just trying to control this side of the jungle and not get overloaded from Team Liquid here.
Okay. They're going to go for a bottom lane turret, another diversion play, setting themselves up perfectly.
Oh, no.
Onto the top lane, they might catch Demon Kite, but Demon Kite is well aware of that. That's why he popped his ultimate just to walk away. And now 40 seconds in before the next major objective is up for grabs. Aurora MLBB, they need to make a play here. They need to activate Renegade to go for a huge pickoff and gain the advantage, the numbers game, when it comes to going up with this Lord.
You know, Domeng, like I said, he's not too far behind in terms of gold and everything else against Aaron Shiki. He is in good fighting form. He's also got a little bit of defense. You know, he's got the Wind of Nature available. And so, again, as they get ready for that next objective here, it's really just kind of a standoff. It's a stare-off while they try to get what they can. Most likely, Demon Kite will continue to have a hard time, you know, locking in these buffs. Does get the purple, but positioning could be in their favor, but this is the thing. It's like TLID wants to let them think they have that favor. They go in with the diversion. Iran goes up top. They're fine again into a still. Battle spells all ready and available for both sides. It's going to be started up really quickly. There's the kick.
A kick and a penalty zone paired up, plus the flicker going on to the backline, but TLID manages to out-sustain the damage. A kill onto Renegade plus Edward. A lot of Aurora members are falling down. Demon Kite gets the Lord, but TLID wants to go for the kills.
They just got to disengage. Oh, Aaron Cheeky won't be able to slide through that wall. Doesn't help with the Cyclone Eye either. The Lord was taken for Aurora MLBB. They still got 3 members up, but it's against the full force here of TLID.
TLID looking to take down Inhibitor down bottom. They managed to catch Demon Kite as well. Electrifying beats, they might be able to take down Laran. Glorious Pathway is there, but it's not going to be enough to evade the death caused by Demon Kite.
Again, that might have been enough time to just keep them into the game from it going out of control. Demon Kite makes his way up to the top. Well, TLID has to deal with the Lord. They're going to try to get something out of this. As UA drops the Eternal Guard, there's diversion. Where are they going here? Back to safety to go ahead and get ready for this small push in from Aurora MLBB.
Aurora MLBB slowly diminishing the lead that TLID established. Looking at the kill scoreboard, 14 minutes in, 11-11. They were able to at least take down some outer turrets as TLID made quick work of this Lord. But again, this is where Aurora MLBB shines. The pressure, the hitman, Renegade. Will he go for a Jit Kundu initiation? What can Aurora MLBB do at this point?
Take their time, honestly. At this point, you know, they don't want to overstep. It's great that they managed to stay in the game. Demon Kite able to go ahead and secure themselves that Lord here, buys them some more time, gets to where they need to be. Again, Domeng didn't go down. You know, he is in a position to be able to go ahead and even knock down some of the health bars of these tanky frontliners from TLID. And sometimes it might just be better that they fight in favor of the space they have to work with. If they overextend just like before, they can easily get cut off, and that's the biggest part that Aurora MLBB has to overcome. You can see this even when we're a minute away from the Lord. It's always going to be TLID looking for some sort of pick, some sort of advantage. Yeah. And Aurora, they just have to go ahead and calm things down. You know, readjust, recoup, and then get ready for the next fight, because they don't want to overextend over a certain line on the map here.
Yeah, and that's the thing. TLID loves this stalemate at times because, again, they can abuse the presence of the diversion. They can go for the macro instead. And approaching the 15-minute, 16-minute mark, we know that Aaron Shiki with the Bruno is already activated. Lock Item Bill has the Wind of Nature for added sustain, has the Purify as well. Even Aurora MLBB is having trouble going for the backline because, again, it's the same story for game number 1. Aaron Shiki, deathless. Yes, deathless.
That's the biggest thing here. The fact that they have 2 Purifies too. That's what's making it so difficult. Again, anytime one of these players picks up the Cho pick, you really have to respect how much work is done from these roamers, or even the occasional time we've seen in the XP lane. It really takes a certain amount of finesse and just even courage to get some of these plays off, and knowing that, hey, I might be putting myself in a bad situation, but it's to just simply get a Purify out or something else. Maybe even the Revitalized Lord's going to be started up now. TLID staying around the fact, again, playing into their strengths. It's going to go for a little bit of a reset. And we see them both get squared away here for this one. They might actually commit to it. Renegay's positioning, crucial. Has an immortality, so he is going to go ahead and be a threat. They can't just quickly get rid of him. Lord goes in for a little bit of a reset, not a full one. Still held here. And half health, Renegay goes in!
They might go for the diversion back top. Edward goes in with the penalty zone onto Aaron Shiki, but Aaron Shiki managing to out-sustain it.
Oh!
Fabian gets the Lord! A kick! Demon Kai going in for Fabian for the kill, but Aaron Shiki picks up one as well as Doming trying to bring down 3. Here comes the Wind of Nature coming in from Aaron Shiki, popping Doming to mortality and gets caught up by 2, and a shutdown for Aaron Shiki!
Fabian gets the Lord! And now they're able to go ahead and march in. It's Aaron Shiki and Aran. Can they do it?
Lord sieging in Renegade. Demon Kite desperately trying to delay.
They're going to keep it together again. Immortality going to be popped, and Demon Kite trying to keep them at bay. He pops the beats, but it's not enough as Team Liquid ID will make it happen. The lights of Aurora will dim on the M6 stage. Their brilliance unable to outshine the Cavalry.
The MPL Philippines runner-up failed to see the light at the end of the tunnel and will bow down to the champions of Indonesia, TLID.
A day full of sweeps here. Great effort, of course, from Aurora MLBB, but now the hopes of the Philippines, they lie within one team moving forward throughout the M6 World Championship. Again, fantastic performance here from Team Liquid ID, really playing together, and there's a reason why they are the champions of Indonesia.